Welcome to Wild Shift episode number 4. My name is Tzach, and over the past few years, I've been reflecting on my life in my home country and the choices that led me to where I am today. In this podcast, I dive into the stories of people who have made bold changes in their lives, leaving behind comfort for something new and unknown. Join me as I explore what inspired them to take these leaps and discover the impact of their decisions. If you enjoy this episode, please share it with others. And today I'm hosting Ohad Levy, a world traveler and a digital nomad who's been exploring the globe for over a decade. Ohad is the creator of the popular Instagram page Ohad Ventures, where he shares insights and experiences from his nomadic lifestyle, inspiring thousands to start their own adventures. As the founder of an agency dedicated to supporting aspiring nomads, Ohad and his team provides valuable guidance to those thinking about starting a life of travel. They continue to offer support to their clients as they navigate the world. Through his wisdom and practical advice, Ohad encourages individuals to begin their journey into solo travel, teaching essential skills and highlighting the importance of experiencing the world on your own. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's hard not to be great on this crazy environment.
So, this is the first time I met you. It was a couple of days ago. My friend and I sat here just exactly behind this camera. There's a nice restaurant. And we sat here, and then my friend was like, I think I know this person. And I told her, I think I also know the person. I think many people that when you walk around the island, people recognize you.
Yeah,
It's like a real celebrity.
kind of.
And I know you from a couple of years ago. I think I was listening to your podcast just when I started my journey. I was after a breakup and stuff, and then I was like really wanted to walk around the world and like explore things, you need to discover your freedom. And the concept of like going somewhere around the world by yourself looked to me terrifying. But you were one of the first to give me the confidence that you can do it. Like, why not? And I was like listening to your podcast and other people that encourage you to do that. You probably encounter these experiences a lot.
Yeah.
How did you start? Wasn't it terrifying for you as well? Like, how was it for you?
So for me, traveling alone, like by myself in the world, it wasn't so terrifying. Actually, it was something that I really was waiting for when I was in the army service, and I was 5 years because I was an officer. So in the last part, when I knew that it's about to end, and then after that I have a new phase of my life that is the phase of freedom, which I didn't really know what it means back then, but I'm not gonna be free for any boss or any structure or schedule or achievement. So I really looked forward to it in a way that I didn't even think about the fears. Yeah, and yeah.
But you come across a lot of people because you have a podcast and you have this blog on Instagram and I think also TikTok and social media in general.
Yeah.
People are scared.
Yeah. Many people.
Why do you think? Like, how and why are we so scared traveling by ourselves?
Wow, that's $1 million question. Yeah, there are many factors, but I can name maybe the main 2 or 3. Basically, today when we are in the modern world, as humanity developed, so we started to surround ourselves with really comfortable and protective things. Whether it's the air condition that really makes us comfortable, or just the streets that you have a coffee shop here and something there, and even putting that aside, all the comforts, when you grow up and you're surrounded by your friends and your family, and everyone wants you to be good, to be happy, to be comfortable, to be pleased. So a lot of challenges are being taken away from you. And the first time that you say, okay, I'm going to the world by myself, so it's like, let's see what you have for me, but you also take yourself out, you detach yourself from your natural environment, that you knew the rules, and you knew the social rules, the safety rules, people that were always protecting you or taking care of you. You know, maybe the most basic example a lot of young travelers are afraid of is getting sick when you're traveling by yourself, because suddenly you don't have your mom to take care of you or your good friends to like come and bring you ice cream or these small things that people do for you at home. You're by yourself and you're sick in a third world country. So you suddenly realize that you're going to be out there and dealing with everything by yourself.
You think it is maybe that's a deeper connection? Probably like maybe we just can't be alone. So we can't be alone in our hometown because we are as you just said around our family and around friends. How can we be alone in a foreign country? It's a weird concept.
Yeah, it's a very weird concept. If you didn't travel so much, it's a weird concept. If you traveled a lot, you already know that basically you can easily feel at home everywhere, and that people are the same every fucking place in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants to have a good beer in the end of the night, have good time with people, have good laugh, share good moments. Everyone wants that. Doesn't matter their culture. They live in a fucking small tribe in Africa or in a big city in New York, you know. But basically, it's so scary because, yeah, it's like you're disconnecting from everything you know.
Is it a good thing to disconnect?
For me, it's so important because I think that when you are growing up in the environment that you used to, and you're not taking a time to zoom out, to go outside, and to really contemplate on what you have and where you were grown, and all of that, so you can easily disconnect from. You're not connected to yourself.
But I think there's a difference between like going from where you are, your hometown, and you go for a week or 2 weeks somewhere, to actually nomading around the world. It's being away from months
Yeah, or years.
or years.
Yeah.
That's like that's like totally detaching. It's not even disconnecting for a little bit. Do you think that's healthy?
I think basically that it's a lot depends on the version of you. That if you like the current version of you, and if you don't. If you don't like the current version of you, for example, you shared with me kindly that you were after a breakup and you had this environment that, although, you know, in Hebrew we say on the paper, but like officially you had everything that people are dreaming of, but under the surface, you felt like you don't like this version. So you needed an upgrade. And you said, fuck everything, I'm going, you know, because you looked for another version of you. Yeah, you wanted to explore it, because when you're in your natural habitat, we can say, you cannot really encounter it.
Did you look for another version of yourself when you started navigating around the world?
Totally, because I was grown up like in Herzliya. It's a city in Israel where it's like you know, it's a good place, like good social.
It's the suburbs.
Yeah, it's a suburb. It's a good social economic like status, you know, level, and everyone around me, like my dad is a lawyer. All of my friends have became lawyers or engineers or computer scientists, and it's like,
As well as you.
yeah. Also, I fell
You
in the
did.
trap.
You fell into the trap.
guys. I fell in the trap. Yeah, but I escaped it in time.
Let's get to the time.
Yeah. So you are. Yeah, I grew up in an environment where it's like very obvious what you need to do to have a good life. But at some point, I don't know what made it, like, you know, what gave me this courage, but I really, at some point, for me, everything was too predictable, too organized, and I realized that I'm walking a path that is not mine.
Who was that path?
My environment,
Your environment.
like the social norms and the expectations, and, you know, maybe I can call it like the Western life society, you know, get a good job in a good firm, and, you know, start to also acquire physical things in your house, and, you know, just walking in the normal path of life.
Yeah.
and I felt like I have to do a like 180 degrees change.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really like it's almost like rebelling.
yeah, it's rebelling.
It's
It's
reveling.
rebelling per
It's
se.
like reveling. You say like, I don't care, like, fuck it all.
Yeah, yeah. I had like maybe less than $10,000 in my bank account, and I said I really don't give a fuck about the money, even.
Wow.
I just have to escape and see what's out there for me. And
Mm.
what now I know retroactively is that I, like, my true self was looking for another version because the version that I was wearing was not satisfying me because it was not helping me to live life the way I want to live life.
Mm. You know, it's a good subject actually because I came across a lot of people around my journey, people that either lawyers, doctors, people that do like computer science or teachers or people that were that it's like a constant thing. Like I did it because I was told to do it. I thought it was the best thing to do. My environment, my parents, my siblings, everyone told me that's what I need to do. And then they flip the table, and that's what they do. Um, you know, like when I started traveling alone, I remember my mom was like calling me, and she was like, "What are you doing alone?" And my dad, like, "What are you doing? Like, are you sad? Are you lonely?" Like, that's the concept. That's what people think, and I think that penetrates me personally speaking, and other people that maybe you probably encountered during your path, your journey, and it's very limiting. Those voices.
Yeah,
Are you alone? What are you doing? How do you be? How can you be alone? You're probably very miserable. Uh, Come back home. Stop escape. Like a lot of like big words like escaping. Stop escaping. You're running away from real life.
yeah.
How do you encounter these voices? Because they're pretty loud.
They're very loud, and especially when they come from people you love that are the closest to you. So first of all, it's important to understand that I don't think that they mean harm. They don't mean anything to damage your motivation or to destroy your dreams. They just want the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
But also, what they are saying, the way that they're talking about what you are doing now, those are the things that made you escape in the first place.
What do you mean?
Because they kept you in the cocoon nest,
Mm.
in the protected nest all of your life, and at some point you felt like you have to hatch from the egg, you know. So yes, it can be sad, yes, it can be lonely, but it's phases that you need to go to. You need to feel these emotions. It's okay, you know.
Where do you start?
What with dealing with these emotions?
Dealing with the emotions and like dealing with how do you start your journey? Because it's impossible for someone that is like living in his house, her house, whatever. It's like where do you start it? Where the thoughts, the where do you get the courage from?
So the only motivator that I can put my finger on, that I see in me and other people, is that you got to a point, a situation in your timeline of life where it hurts you to stay where you are. It hurts you in your heart.
Mm,
And then you're willing to make a change. And I
mm.
see it on my clients that come like to assist me, for me to help them with solo traveling, and also with people to open their online business. They reach to a point, the only moment in your life when you make a big change is when you got to a painful point. You got to a painful point, you said, enough of this shit. I don't mind, dedicating money, going to the other side of the world, trusting whatever it takes, but something has got to change.
It's an interesting point, you know, because you told me that sometimes you speak to your clients and then they ask you how to start a journey, what do you do abroad, how do you work abroad, how do you take your family, how do you take yourself, and then you told me that some of the people were like, yeah, but I can't do it because I have a house, I have a dog, I have a job, I have this, all valid.
Yeah,
But then when they stop the process because of these logistics, that means it's not important for them. That means maybe it's not too painful for them.
exactly. Exactly. We tend to think that we make decisions with our head, but we make it with our hearts, and we justify it with our heads. So if you're not, because many people talk with me and they tell me, I want to be a digital nomad, I want to travel. They see us. You also today you give a lot of inspiration for people when you're
I
out
hope.
here. Yeah, I'm sure out here and even doing this, even starting a podcast. It's like a fantasy for so many people. So, and many times when people talk to me logically, they know that it will make their life more fulfilled, more happy to now start another kind of business, pursue an online business, go and travel the world. But emotionally, they are not in this painful point to do this change. They want it in their minds, but they will not still sacrifice things.
Wow. You know what? When you say that, it's actually super sad. It's obviously not a criticism because I was also in that place where it becomes painful, then you have to make the change. And the question that I keep asking people in general and also some of the previous episode is like, how do you reach the point where you create that change before it becomes painful? And it also can be valid with any other aspects of your life. How do you quit your job before it becomes abusive? How do you leave your relationship? How do you leave your parents' house before it becomes painful?
Yeah.
Before that breaking point. For me, that's the $1 million question.
Wow. This question is amazing and it has a lot of layers. And I'll give you two perspectives on it. The first one is that pain, we grow from pain. The biggest changes are done from pain. So we don't need to take these pains away, with these painful moments away. We need to have them in our life. Yeah. But I can tell you that basically the way I look at it is that the way I was living and you were living and all the other people that you are interviewing, we were running on autopilot. You're running on autopilot because you have a narrative in your mind that you are sure that this is the way to go in life, and you go and you try to excel in it. I was trying to become an officer, and I had the best degree in Israel, like 2 degrees simultaneously in Israel, the best ones in the best college. And meanwhile I was working in high tech, and I was trying to juggle. I don't know if it works in English, but fuck it. So I'm trying to do many things simultaneously to just prove to my surroundings that I'm capable and to excel in this narrative. So we are all running in this autopilot. But in order for you to leave this autopilot, to wake up, like in the movie The Matrix, why we call it The Matrix? Because The Matrix, you live in this nice setup, which is the world, you eat your steak, you fuck your wife, and then at some point, people are coming from outside the Matrix and tell you are living in a dream. You need to wake up. So the one way is for someone to wake up by himself, but it have to be caused by a lot of either inspiration or outside help or someone to wake you up. Because why people are in the Matrix? Because it's serving biggest entities in our world. It's serving them of mind control, of money, wars. They're funded by the arms companies and also all the injured, the pharmaceutical companies, and also governments. They need to control your consciousness to make you vote and fight their wars and everything. So this is all of the Matrix that is so, and also, for example, when you work in a high-tech company and you are a badass developer, you might be installing a technology that is changing the world. But in the end of the month, you make 40,000 shekels, which is equivalent to $10,000.
A month.
Yeah, a month. But the net, maybe you get 6. So you might be doing one of the crazy impacts on the world, but you get this tiny bit because that's how the world works, So you accept all of these conditions and structures, and you just go through it, and this is the Matrix. And I
You think that's the Matrix?
Yeah.
Because I think some of the people that might listen to us or watch us as we speak can say that you are living in the Matrix. This is not the real life.
Yeah.
This is not the real world. What you're doing, like taking yourself somewhere and doing not I mean,
Being a barefoot hippie.
yeah, a hippie.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're not a hippie, and I'm not too as well. But people might think that we are living in the bubble. This is not a real life. What are you doing? Like drinking coconut? And okay, there's an end to that.
Yeah. So no, you know what I tell these people?
Tell me, because I need to also practice.
Living in a war zone,
And
that's the biggest bubble.
I'm not only talking about the Middle East. I'm also talking like you
Yeah, but we're
living in New
Israelis.
York is also some sort of like a war
Of
zone.
course, yeah. But we are, as Israelis, we have all the right to really talk about this issue because I think that what you see here in Copenhagen, when you see all of these Israelis living here, so you say, okay, like none of them wants to live in a war zone. And we are living in a war zone. And the people in Israel that say, I cannot live because this is my reality. So it's like, you're accepting something that you don't necessarily have to accept. And for me, when we are in 2024 and we have all of these advanced technologies and AIs and robots and advancements in agriculture and everything, we're still our life is threatened. It's wrong, and it's the result not of nature. We know nature. Nature is amazing. Nature doesn't want to hurt you. What wants to hurt you is interests and all of those things. So for me, the matrix, we are also living with, definitely it's a bubble, but it's a fucking amazing bubble. And when you're living in a war zone, in economic crisis, all of these things, so you are in the worst bubble. And this is for me the matrix because you are affected and brainwashed by outside interests and all of these things.
One of the things that I've learned from
Wait, I just want to add with one small thing.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So the problem for me, like, I'm not saying everyone should move to Copenhagen and become digital nomads, but what I want for the entire humanity is to unlock their true potential and understand how much power and creativity and potential they have inside them. And when you are in a low frequency vibe, like a war or economic crisis or like judicial reforms, all of these things, you cannot even access your potential and who you really are because you're dealing with things that really cloud your mind and bother you all day. So
But
that's what I
it's
think.
it's a good point because I was actually starting to say that people are so adjustable that they can't even see. They can't even see that they are blured by something or they are distracted by something.
Yeah.
I've noticed that even like when we start having COVID, the beginning it was horrendous. The first 3 months, it was like stay at home and all the restrictions, which obviously we had all the restrictions for 2 years, but I saw how resilient we are. After 3 months, we're like, it's fine, it's okay. The masks are okay. I mean, it's not okay, but we got used to it. We got used to that reality, and that made me think a lot about how adjustable we are as people. And when someone is telling you you can't go around your house, the limit is 150 meters, but if you go 300 meters, then you get a fine.
Yeah.
And people actually obey to that.
Of course.
And then you go outside and you go and you feel great, and you go back and you need to be in lockdown because someone told you to do that, and you stay in lockdown for 2 weeks in your own house. I'm not saying, I'm not denying any COVID, obviously, and I like my family, some of them had COVID, but it made me think that we are so
Easy to influence.
easy to influence. We're so adjustable to anything. What we are also can be adjustable to war. We are so adjustable to 9 to 5. We are so adjustable to cars honking on the road. We are so used to like abusive boss at work. We are so adjustable to it
Yeah.
that we can't see what outside.
Mm-hmm.
And back to
Because the system, we are adjustable, but I'm not understanding if you're looking at it from a positive or negative perspective. Because the positive is that we can adjust to every environment,
yes,
but the negative is that we are really easy to influence
yeah,
because the machine is very strong. Yeah.
yeah. But what you said before is like, um, it blocks our creativity. Like we suffer, we don't want to suffer. I mean, the people that come to you and talk to you and get your advice about how to nomad, these are the people that are on the edge. They are either woken up or starting to wake up. But what about the other people? Like they, like I speak to my family or friends or whatever, and they were like, yeah, we're all good, we're fine. And I was the same, and I'm still the same in some ways.
Yeah.
But how do you wake up a person that is either not willing to wake up or not woken up already, or maybe watch or listen to us now and is cynical?
Yeah. It sounds like we are pretentious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you
Yeah.
do you.
Yeah. So basically, you don't need to wake up everyone.
No.
Yeah, we don't need, like, you cannot help someone who doesn't want to be helped. But I think that the first thing that can really shake your world perspective a bit is a small doubt in the narrative that you hold. Because we all live the world, also you today, and me, each one of us. Like you said, we are living in a matrix. Yeah, but it's an amazing matrix.
Yeah.
It's a matrix with coconut and barefoot. So it's like, if this is a matrix, I'm willing to accept it every day. Although I'm going back to Israel in a few days.
Yeah. But also, I want to cut you for a second.
Yeah.
It's not amazing. It's not perfect.
It's not, yeah, yeah.
And we will talk about the imperfections.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's not all this. It's mostly, but not all.
Yeah. Listen, you know the movie The Matrix? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
So there's the guy eating the steak, and he's helping the bad guys because he wants them to bring him back to the Matrix and forget that it's a Matrix. He wants to go back there. Cypher, this guy with the steak. So some people love the Matrix. For some people, it's great, and but some people, for them, the way to really maybe take that's why I love creating content, because content today is enriching, it's teaching,
It's inspiring,
and it can inspiring. So the way to maybe make a small change in someone's perspective on the world and in his narrative is to raise a small doubt whether the version that he holds is the best, is the true version. Yeah, because when you talk on bigger things that are like bigger forces that are controlling the world, I'm even personally not going into that so deeply in my life because I don't want to deal with these, scary and dark things too much of my time.
yeah.
But exactly because it might be scary. So for some people, if you tell someone it's good for other people that are benefiting from the fact that you are brainwashed and you are holding this narrative, it's like, wow, it's too scary for them.
Yeah, and it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
It's bigger than you.
It sounds for them like we are normal people and there are gods, in the mythological legend that are controlling the world. But it's kind of like this.
Yeah.
So you don't really, I think the best way, I can tell you personally, to really maybe make a shift in other people's lives is, first of all, like sharing what you do with the world. But aside of that, just inspiring them through who you are. Like you live if you're loyal to your true self, it will make small waves in the closest people to you, because they will see you and they will constantly judge how they live when they look at you, according to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me about your process from the beginning. I mean, you shared that you were in the army and then you started you went to the university. But when what you also said about like you need to go for the change when you have the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But through your words, and probably I know very less of you, it seems so easy for you. Like you did this and this and that, and then and then you decided to start in nomading. Like it was like so easy peasy for you. So almost like you skipped the pain.
No.
Okay, thank you
No.
for correcting me.
Yeah, no. So I was doing the university degree, but it was 4 years, and during these 4 years, I just had a really, really intense mental process with myself, because I was feeling that I was putting so much effort in a direction, and when I got to the deeper levels of why, always the question of why, what really gives you, sheds the light on things. So I was asking myself constantly, every year that I finished or that I accomplished, every test, asked why? Why are you in this loop? Why are you doing this? And I was exposed to a lot of people on YouTube, not Israeli, that were traveling the world back then. It's like 2015, 2016, 2017. And that were traveling the world, creating travel vlogs, starting their business, and just doing it from wherever the fuck they want. So I saw that it's a living proof that it's possible. And yeah, and like my pain, it wasn't that someone close to me died or something happened to me. I had
Thank God.
a car accident, yeah, but it's just that I felt that, I'm denying my true self if I'm continuing to go this path. And it was very, very difficult the day that I realized that I wanna like say fuck everything and change my direction. It was very difficult to make because I felt like I'm gonna all the people around myself. Many people want to do a big change, but what limits them is the fear of what my surrounding will think of me, of that.
That was your fear,
Definitely.
definitely.
Because why? Because we are used to walking in groups, in tribes, from also ancient times, and we want to be part of the tribe because when you're part of the tribe, also social, you have social connections, and also you are more protected from the big animals. And when you say something that is against the majority, so you're putting yourself in a risk of דחייה, denial or
Rejection.
rejection, exactly. So I was really scared of rejection. And that's what's stopping a lot of people also. Yeah, because you're like saying to your closest people, you're like telling them, fuck your values and the way you see life, That's what you're telling them because I'm going in a different way.
Wow.
Because when you're choosing a path, you're choosing it because it aligns with something within you. And the other path stopped aligning with something within you.
It takes a lot.
It takes a
It
lot.
takes a lot.
Yeah.
Because saying to the people that raised you or validated you through your entire life or most of your life, I appreciate your way, but I'm taking mine.
Yeah.
It takes like the courage to say that, but also the courage to believe in yourself, to trust yourself. And that's
Yeah.
something that is like sometimes people don't have. Like I didn't have when I started traveling by myself. I had zero trust that I can do it by myself. But I also want to add to what you shared about like
Because
what
some of them will try to stop you.
some of them will try to stop me. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Out of a good
and
way.
they're still trying to stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to stop myself. By the way, it's not only them.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I give those voices validity is because I'm not sure of myself sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's a correlation between the external to the internal.
Yeah.
But I wanna go back to you that to your blog that listening to other voices and listening to this podcast or other podcasts, it's not only myself, you don't have to follow that. It just by seeing other options, whether it's like moving to New York or moving to Tokyo or moving to the island or moving to a different city in your country or moving to a different job or choosing a different relationship or choosing to have different life or different profession and listening to other opinions and just by listening is I like that.
Yeah.
I think it resonates with my path and it might not be. But for me personally speaking, when I started listening to podcasts to other people that made shifts, like the name of this podcast, I was like, I need a shift, I need a change. I don't know what's to change, but I want to listen to other people. And, probably 20 years ago, we would go around and start networking with people. But today we don't need that. We can just listen to a podcast or to a YouTube or whatever and to listen to other people's paths.
Listen to your podcast.
And
for
no,
example.
you started it from
In my podcast,
in my yeah.
Yeah, people like us. Yeah.
And that for me that was a spark.
Yeah.
That was a
That you
spark.
see it's possible.
It's
That you
possible.
See, yeah. Because in the beginning also, it's like we said that You know, the change comes from being in a painful point, and sometimes the point is so painful that you say, I need a change right now. I don't even know what's going to happen, what I'm going to do, you know, and you're in such a painful point that when you calculate the odds of succeeding in another path, it might be even 20% chance. But you're willing to take this gamble because you're in this painful point. And I think that the amazing thing that I see from the other side of the fence, you know, after I'm helping people, I'm next to the fence and I hold people's hand to cross it. So I see that it doesn't really matter where it will take you. After you cross the fence, you do this big jump, you take this crazy decision. It can go to a million ways. Like if you go to Tokyo, and like you said, many, many options. The most important thing is that you did this. You took the leap, and you see that the world hasn't ended.
No.
Yeah, the world hasn't ended. You continue living, you continue breathing, and you even feel a bit more brave to look for, okay, now what I do. And then things become more practical, maybe what will finance me, which will be my community, my social connections, and etc. etc. You know, all the practical things come to hand,
Yeah.
come to mind. But the waking up, the escaping, the first moment is just for like accomplishing this decision in your mind of I'm going on a new path, you know, and fuck everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think everyone can do it.
Everyone can do it, but some people, their self-belief, their self-esteem is not strong enough, and they need a hand because maybe their surroundings, they are דיכאו אותם, דיכאו את האני הפנימי שלהם.
They were deprived,
They,
oppressed.
yeah, they oppress their true self too much, so they don't acknowledge the power that they have to really do this shift, and they need a hand. They need someone to help them. So that's what I do. Yeah.
And I think that's the real excuse, because some other people will say, well, I don't have enough money. I mean, I'm not saying it's not valid, but I don't have enough money. I have a dog. I don't have the language. I don't know how to book a flight by myself.
Yeah.
I don't this. I don't that.
It's low self-belief.
Yeah.
It's low self-belief. And yeah, the question is if the person is honest enough with himself to understand that it's only excuses, you know. But it's most people are not there. So yeah, I'll give you a live example from 3 days ago.
Please.
So we were in La Clove.
Alcove.
Alcove. Yeah, I'm only here a few days. So
No, it's okay.
make
No, the people change a lot of the names.
Yeah. You say Samoy or Samui?
Samui.
Samui.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So I was there and I was talking to this girl that I met there, and she told me that I told her what I do, and she said that I'm actually here and I'm looking for an online job so I can stay and just enjoy my time here and not return to Israel only for money purposes, money reasons. So I told her, wow, amazing, because that's exactly what I help people with. So what we do is that I send you this document that I made, you fill it with a lot of questions that I have there, and then we meet for a meeting. We meet, like we sit, and then we extract from this what you wrote, like I help you get a business idea that suits you, that really suits you, and you can develop and start doing. And she said, you know what the thing she told me? Guess.
That she already had a job somewhere, or like, tell me.
Okay, so her answer.
I will tell you what my excuses will be if you tell me what's, and maybe that's the one that she gave you. If you can do this and this and that, like, it's different. It's like the change is too big or something.
So what she said is, she said the first thing she told me was, "You want to charge me money?"
Oh.
Yeah, and I told her, yeah, and she said, no, I'm not. I don't want to look anything that I need to pay. So I told her, I work with people who are willing to invest in themselves, money, among the rest, you know, other things. So she's still in a place where money is blocking her from the life she wants, and not so much money. But
It's interesting.
it's a yeah,
If I think it's deeper than that. I think it's the money is just a material.
yeah. You are correct.
It's just like
You are correct.
it's an excuse because she will take your advice for free, but she wouldn't pay for it.
Money is only energy.
It's like my friend. She's a travel agent here in Thailand, and then she's giving like travel advices to people. She's living like a couple of years here, and then she had a call with someone that is wanting to have like a trip around Thailand, and she was like, "I'm charging this and that." Not from my perspective, it wasn't too high, but then she was like, the customer was like, "Are you willing to charge for an hour call this amount of money? Why would I pay you that?" I mean, leave the fact that she's like giving the time and the energy to explain and to share, but it was like, I'm giving you, okay, so I'm going to do it by myself.
Yeah.
People are not willing to invest in their own, like, what do you think is the reason?
So it's pretty simple. Basically, when we're not,
It was really hard for me to explain that. That's why I asked you. And so you're saying it's simple.
it's simple because because of the past few years, I worked with people every week. I work with like dozens of people. So you start to really understand the human psychology, and we are all fucking the same. So when you're not willing to pay for something, it's usually because you don't. The value you will gain from it is not high enough for you and not feasible enough for you. So also sometimes that when people come to me and they tell me it's so expensive, so what I hear from their words is that it's not
It's not valued enough
for them.
or important.
No, either important or they don't really see the process that they will make, the transformation.
benefits.
Or the benefits, yeah.
It's like when I used to talk to people and they were like, "Why are you not seeing a therapist?" They have like so many things to say. It's like, I don't think paying $100 to someone is like I'm not gonna pay $100 for someone to listen to me.
Yeah.
But actually, that saved my life. Or for other people, that many people, it doesn't have to be a therapist. It have to be a psychotherapist. It have to be.
Yeah. So when someone says, I'm not willing to pay $100 for someone to like for therapy. So basically, what you're saying, you don't willing to pay $100 for taking the risk to ever really change. Yeah. That the change is possible. Many people they don't really believe that the change is possible.
Or
That's
I can
also
do it by
really-
myself.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm asking like, why are you not my dad? Like, why are you not calling the electrician? Or no, I can fix it by myself.
Yeah. When people say I'll do it by myself, it's the biggest lie.
The biggest lie.
Because so why do you talk to in the first place? They turn to you, something wasn't succeeding there. They needed some kind of help.
But
then
they're not willing to pay for it.
either pay or commit. Yeah, either pay or commit. It doesn't necessarily have the money. You also pay with time and energy. Yeah.
So the people that are willing to get your service.
Yeah.
And tell me tell me who are these people,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
And what do you provide to them?
So basically, you can see it as a funnel. As a funnel that the first stage of for me, when the person exposes to me for the first time, it's when he gets the keys to his freedom, to his time, to his life, and he can manage his time. So, for example, the first time people get exposed to me is before the big trip in Israel, the big trip after the army. And then I convince them that it's the best way for them to travel alone. And for some people that wants also guided help services, I have like 3 consultants that like I started doing it, but today I have the 3 consultants that they accompany you and prepare you for this solo adventure. Yeah, mentally and logistically.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the
Financially.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, some people, the finance scare them. So that's the first step. But then the person connects to himself, travels by himself, realize that the world is not a dangerous place, that the people are kind, that he has a lot of potential. All of those things that you only realize when you're out there in the world by yourself. He goes back to Israel. He's confronting the question, what I will do next, what will be my profession. And he sees the matrix, he sees his parents that are not so pleased with their life. He sees his friends that are, thinking in work and getting back every day like exhausted and not really living, but serving a bigger company or something. So I helped him create his first remote business that will serve him to become a digital nomad and then have a more free life.
But do you think that's the only, I mean, it's obviously not the only barrier, like being like a digital nomad and like having an income, like there's more than that, and you encounter that with them.
Yeah, that's only the excuse, That's only the excuse. All the processes that you go through are deeper. Your insecurities, your fears, all of the things that we talked about, that's what the person actually goes through in the process of setting sail to this adventure.
Yeah. And you take care of these aspects as well during your conversation and during your plan.
That's the majority of my role.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the majority of my role.
So you have all these like limitation beliefs, and you basically encounter each one of them, and you help me or help your customers go through them.
It's beliefs, it's fears, insecurities, all of those things, they are the biggest obstacle. When you want to do something, to achieve something, you're your only obstacle. Nobody really stands in your way, tell you, Zach, don't fucking move, right? So it's only you. It's the way you see the world, maybe, the way you think things should be done, or fears, And I'm there the moment, in the beginning, everyone, motivation, I'm going to be digital nomad, start my business. I take care of the logistics, I help them find the business, how to do marketing, how to do sales, all of those things. But I know that along this path, at some moment, they come to me randomly and but wait, what my parents will think. And I'm there mostly for these moments, to be the person that tells him, don't give a fuck. Like, you have to keep running, because these obstacles, what made you stay in the miserable place, in the painful place, when you turn to me. So now you need to listen to me and let's keep running.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
And you also accompany them during their process. So I bought the tickets. I'm here in Vietnam, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm able to also, like, you're gonna help me, assist me
Have an income.
After I made a decision. You're also there.
A decision of what? Which decision?
To travel.
Sometimes people turn to me while they're in the trips and they feel lost.
They feel lost.
It happens. Yeah, it happens. But most of the people, the biggest demand is before you leave.
Before you leave.
Yeah, you're out there, even in a small village and nobody speaks English. You see that everything is okay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to kill you.
Yeah.
So after the big leap, most people, they don't even communicate with me. They're there. But when someone have a challenge or a dilemma, he reach out to me and I help him. Yeah.
It sounds like you're living the dream and you're selling other people's dream. A dream. Is that true?
If that's your dream, so yeah. But it's not other people's dreams. It was my dream, and now it's my reality, and I have other dreams. But maybe now it looks for you like a dream. For many people, it doesn't look like a dream for them. They think that I'm either wasting my time or crazy.
But for you, do you think it's a dream?
It was my dream. Now it's my reality, but yeah, I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, I love it because, I meet people like you. I sit on the beach. No, I'm joking, but, in the more egoistic way of things, I love it because, when you feel you're helping someone, so I think it's the best place to be in the world, when you
and personally
when
speaking,
you're making a change. Personally, it's a big ego boost, It's a big ego, like, when you feel that you have enough strength to share it with other people, and even my own path, many times my best advice is my path. You know, the fact that I haven't give up and I'm in this journey for 5 years, and I'm even sharing this journey, and I'm going through a lot of stages. You know, in the beginning it was frightening for me to speak in front of my cell phone. You know, and now I'm talking about like today I'm uploading a YouTube video to my channel. I'm gonna share. I'm sharing there my breakup from my ex. I had an ex in Colombia, and we were together for a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sharing it there, and I'm sharing my ayahuasca trip, and I'm sharing a lot of things that in the past I'm like, I said I'm not gonna talk about it, but what motivates me today to talk about those things? Because I know that someone is sitting in his house, and it ignites a spark in his head, and that's the most amazing thing. So my courage, I have a lot of courage, as you can see, and a lot of like security about myself, but it all derives from the impact that I know it has on other people. And also because I enjoy the journey, you know, I'm trying to enjoy, we only have one try here, so
No, of course.
I'm trying to enjoy it. But yeah, for me it's amazing because I'm living my life in my own terms, you know. I'm not a spirit wandering in the world. Obviously, I have limitations of like things, money and stuff, but around the physical limitations, I'm very pleased of that. Yeah, it's so much fun.
And what's not amazing?
Okay, so what's not amazing? Um,
It's a tough question, I know, but
yeah,
there, personally
but it's
speaking,
important to talk about these things.
it's important, and there's not everything is amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
From my perspective, I can, yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, we talked about before in the conversation. Maybe now it's a good time to go back to this topic. That, you know, when Kopangan, everything is like, I don't know if you guys been here, but it's cheap, it's tropical. Even in the rainy season, it's once a week, so it's like and all the people here, they don't look for trouble. It's safe. You have everything, but like you said, it's not perfect because when you live in a frictionless environment, the small things that never bothered you in the with the friction environment here, they are more noticeable. So you become maybe more lonely, and you feel a bit more lost, and you feel like you are scattered all over the place. So this is maybe also what I find when you become your own boss, a digital nomad, a free spirit. You don't have any physical limitations. You can just wander the world. Wherever there is Wi-Fi, you can open your laptop, you walk. Every place there is a community. You settle there and you make connections. So it really, you become lonely. You become lonely, and you doubt the bigger thing. Like, who am I? What is my purpose? You know, when you're in the matrix, you don't really doubt those things.
No.
Because you're clouded, like we said. You're clouded, you're blurred. But when you're outside and you're more, like, nobody here tells you, go to reserve, go to be in the army, or anything like that. So a lot of deep things rise from that. So for me, the challenges are, you know, it's relationships, with people and with their partner, and loneliness, and these are the emotional challenges. But you have also the physical challenges. That you know that every place you want to travel, because I travel to also like not only place like Copenhagen, like West Africa, like small places in Colombia, like small like shitholes, and you get there, and maybe you don't have internet now, so you cannot make your income and be in touch with your clients. So you have physical also challenges, but the emotional challenges are the painful ones, the difficult ones.
The emotional ones.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I like your answer because I really feel like it resonates. And there's a lot of like there's a lot of like highs and lows.
Yeah.
But really highs and really lows. And I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about like real highs when you meet people and none of you, I mean, I'm talking about the people that are not nomads, just like here for vacation or for a long vacation.
Okay.
You find your group, you're with them, they love you, you love them, you're together
Yeah.
24/7.
It must be very difficult because what you call life, they call a vacation,
Yeah.
and it's not the same vibe.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like where you're aligned. You know, like you're
okay.
aligned. Like I'm here for a vacation, or I'm here to travel, whatever, and you travel with these people for, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, and then because of the nature of that, they leave or you
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
and then you need to find a new one,
Mm-hmm.
new group, new
Yeah.
partner. And for me personally speaking, that was the most difficult thing to do because you feel really high when you are with people, with your tribe,
Yeah.
which you find a tribe, and the biggest low is okay, they all left back to their home countries or to their next trip, and
Yeah.
I'm alone now, and I need to create it again and again and again.
Yeah. Because you ask yourself, who am I? Because we are really defined by our relationships.
Yes,
So you ask yourself, who the fuck am I?
yes,
You know, if nobody here knows Zach, if nobody here knows Zach, so who is Zach? That now talks to people, introduces himself, initiates interaction. Who is he? You
Yeah.
know? And I think still it's amazing. But yeah, it's difficult because that's, for example, we talked about living in a perfect place. Copenhagen is so perfect that people, that's so touristic, you know? So some of your social connections are momentary. There is נראה לי יש כזה. Yeah, so they are, yeah, short term.
Yeah.
Because so many people rush here to enjoy their life and go back to their miserable life. No, I'm joking, but I'm exaggerating. So yeah, so that's difficult, you know?
Yeah, and I think lack of mirrors. Lack of mirrors. I mean, maybe back in our home countries, there's like too many mirrors. Like you go to work, you do this project, your boss telling you great job or whatever job you do. Go back home to your partner or to your friends, and then you have a drink with them. You go to your family. You get a lot of mirrors,
Yeah.
and a lot of validations, a lot of like thumbs up. And I think the one that is
Appreciation. You talk?
appreciations, feedback, validation, a mirror,
Acknowledgement.
acknowledgements.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
doing great, or you're doing worse, or you're doing an amazing job, or
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
shit
yeah.
today. But any sort of like acknowledgement is acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And I think the one that is missing when you travel by yourself is that you need to constantly give those validations and that feedback to yourself.
Wow.
By yourself.
Yeah,
And
self-worth.
that's self-worth.
Self-worth.
Constantly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's maybe the big, yeah, that's a huge struggle. It's so,
a huge struggle.
so good, important that you brought it up. Yeah. Because, yeah, like we said, you know, it's like when you don't have people that know you and give you a feedback, so you're like, you need to give that to yourself. You need to be there for yourself. And that's yeah, you need to remind yourself your self-worth. And it's difficult because we always like to acknowledge other people, but to ourselves, it's so difficult. We criticize ourselves so bad, you know? We disbelieve in ourselves so bad. And this is why I think these journeys are so important. Because now when I go back to Israel, I already, you know, what's amazing for me is returning every time home and see the changes that I went through.
Yeah.
Because, you know, especially in Israel, the vibe, I don't know if you've been in Israel, it's very honest place.
Oh yeah.
It's very honest. And then when you go back there, you easily get a reflection on yourself. And for me, I see that I lose the need, with time, I lose the need for this acknowledgement. Because you become a witness of your self-worth in more and more situations. You became sick when you travel by yourself. You confronted it. You managed it. You know, you got out of it. And you had a social crisis with someone you met romantically or not romantically. You got over it. You're proud of yourself. You know, you dealt with it by yourself. So all of those small checkpoints along the way really emphasize your self-worth. And then you come back, you're like, you know, I don't need that, but it's nice to have all of the outside acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's so
Wow.
interesting.
Someone has told me, like one of the workshops that I had, and we talked about self-validations and feedback when you travel and when you are alone, because it's important to know how to be alone and to like not to be afraid of it, because that's unlocking that skill. And he gave me that advice, which really resonates with me, and I would like to share that with you and with others. That compliment others, share your validation, like share your feedback with others, the positive feedback with others, And that, I mean, it sounds pretty hippie, but it actually really works, especially when the days when you need that feedback from the environment. Share your validation with people, your feedback with people, and it will come back at you, even if they don't say anything back to you. The fact that you're giving it is also allowing you to receive it. And it can be the waiter at the coffee place, it can be a friend, it can be just a random person you see on the beach. And I'm not telling you share your compliments with everyone, but do it with random people or with people that you know, and it can give you more than you can think. It sounds so simple, and it is simple, but it will give you more than you think.
It's simple, but we don't do it.
We don't do it.
Yeah.
We don't do it. It can be even like call your mom, call your friends, say, tell them whatever, just I miss you.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to say I really love you and I really forgive you or whatever. You, for sure you can do it, then do it. But you don't have to go deeper than that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's so important. It's so important. That's so good, because also you spread positivity, and you are being a bit honest with someone, and yeah, you raise his ego. Even if you raise his ego, you help his self-worth.
yes,
You help his self-worth.
definitely.
So yeah, I think it's amazing. I'll try it more. It's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an important reminder.
Yeah. So I want to end. It actually was super fast.
Wow.
I can have another 2 hours with you, and maybe in the future we will,
We will.
for sure, here or somewhere else with a nicer background or as nice as this one.
Yeah.
But it was very inspiring, and you are very inspiring, and you inspired me from my beginning of the journey, and I hope you will inspire other people. And I think you are, even if you don't actually, the people that are listening to me, if you actually don't choose to go through your plan or to be your customer, it's important to listen to you and to other people that can inspire you, can inspire other people,
Yeah.
and to be that spark. And that spark was now the fire that I'm living it today.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Like
So,
you look on Zach from 2-3 years ago,
oh yeah, different person.
different entity.
Yeah, and today there's different stuff, and I'm a constant work in progress.
I think that if we end on even a practical note and to sum it all up,
Yes.
I think that the person that feels disturbed, and he feels like there is more to life, he needs to ask himself one question. Am I really living? Am I really living the way he wants to live? So, yeah, that's a bigger question that can maybe help people to question, to doubt, and maybe make a step towards a change. But if people are not disturbed, they are pleased, they are good, keep doing what you do. We'll be in Copenhagen.
And you will still be here to assist whenever they
Yeah,
need the shift.
that's my torch that I'm carrying. Yeah,
That's
that's
the
my torch, and I love it.
And you're doing an amazing job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toda.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you like this episode or you think it can inspire other people, please feel free to share it. See you in the next episode of Wild Shift.